Here comes Kaufusi again. Got it. Ball's out. You saw that swipe from Bronson. BYU's got it.
Used to be a legend in the making. Now I'm feeling like the greatest. I've been snapping like a turtle. Dressed like a Merkel. They concerned about me going to commercial, killing shows without rehearsal.
So we got you on to talk about your Young Athlete Society.
Yeah.
Yep. So flip that up. This is the website. YoungAthleteSociety.com.
Yeah.
Your goal is to bring young athletes in and try to help develop them.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. And from like a different angle that a lot of young athletes really don't think about.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't think about it as a young athlete. But then it changed my whole career, honestly. And so then I was like, man, all right, I'm getting all this mindset training, mentorship. I'm like.
When did that start for you? When did the mindset training start for you? Was it a little later in life?
Yeah, in college.
Yeah, see.
And that's because where do you find access to mindset training?
You can't.
In high school and younger.
That's what we're saying. Like, this is game-changing, dude.
There's not.
This early on.
Yeah, and because every NFL, NBA team has a guy at the facility.
Yeah.
That's doing the trainings, the mindset trainings, and
that you only have access to when you're at
you're
that
there.
level. If you get to that level.
Yeah, if you get to that level.
Yeah.
But if it changed me and my performance, because really they're performance coaches, and they're not taking your physical skills, they're taking something that's in everything you do, like the way your approach. It's all coming from the thought processes that are taking place, and like it's all coming from your mind and how it's operating.
That helps both on the field and off the field.
Yeah, it helps both on the field and off the field, and it helped me for sure. Like I think about it, like my senior year, and I literally had the best year that I had ever had in football in my career up to that point, because I was playing so fast. And that's one thing that you learn about in sports psychology. Like I took the class 3 times. I was so into it because when they said, all right, these neural pathways, you can train them and you can operate faster, I'm like, I'm a defensive end. I've rushed the quarterback. There's so many times where I'm just half a step, literally an inch away. Like my hand is an inch away from the ball and I don't get the sack. That's valuable to me if I can speed that up by like 0.002. Like
if you can work on the mind to where the game slows down for you and becomes easier for you.
It becomes easier.
Yep.
And so in sports psychology, they call it getting into flow state. Or a lot of athletes will say it's getting in the zone. And so how that feels is like time slows down. You don't want to leave that situation because you're in an environment where you are just in complete control and you're just dominating everything. And if you can get into that mode in sports, in business, life, like it's a great place to be and operate in.
Yeah, I feel like mentally, I feel like you need to, like the mental growth is what really helps like the game slow down.
Yeah.
That way it comes easier for you.
Yeah, and that was one of my things. Because you think if you break it all the way down to a play, the cycle of a play, as a defensive player, the call comes in, they sign it in, middle linebacker will say it, you get that play, and immediately what goes off in your brain?
What you got to do, where you're going to be.
Where you're going to be, what you're
going
to do. Alignment, assignment, and then technique. And so it's like, okay, well, my alignment is here, my assignment is I got to contain the quarterback. But what technique am I going to use? So if my eyes aren't right from the get-go on my stance, if my hands aren't tight enough when the offensive lineman punches his hands, I'm not going to get to the quarterback. I'm not going to do my job. But you can train all of that. And it's crazy how your mind, if you can make it so it's just second nature. You don't even think about it.
And that's what it needs to be, because if you get up on the line and you haven't got into your technique, thinking of what your technique's going to be, and the ball snapped, then you're late. But if you work that mind, you're ready immediately.
Yeah, immediately. And it was crazy too, because as you go, what happens is it's just levels. You're leveling up in every single one of those situations. To the point where I remember my dad telling me about Reggie White, because he was his backup. And my dad would tell me, oh, Reggie always used to know down and distance who exactly was going up against, his weaknesses. Like, Reggie was so locked in to where he knew offense as well as he knew defense. And it's like, now that game's probably really slow, like at that point.
Yeah.
Because now he knows he doesn't even have to think out there with a lot. He's taking in a lot of information. But how is that organized in your brain? How do you organize that to where you can take the down and distance, you can take where they're at on the field, who you're going up against, their weaknesses, alignment, assignment, technique, all this stuff, and operate at a high level?
In seconds.
In seconds.
Have it in seconds.
So when people say, oh, that mindset stuff, it's like, no. Here, let me explain to you, how this works. Because it is just as mental as it is physical.
And however you are on the field, you're going to take that off the field with you through life.
Yes. Yeah, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you're like on the field, if you have high effort and you're prepared for the game and you implement all your hard work during the week to go up against that guy that you've been watching all week long on film, and I know everything about him and I know how to beat him, and I implement it, man, now you're someone that's highly disciplined, can execute at a high level in any environment. So that's why it's so important.
That's awesome. You talked about different levels, and when we were watching the highlights of you, you could point out what year you were, whether you were junior, senior, like what you were.
Yeah.
How was that progression through that?
Yeah. So I would say my freshman year, I get there. I got home from a mission 6 days before fall camp, and I was just out there mainly used on passing downs. And it's like, man, yeah, there's a lot of promise in this kid, right? And then it's my second year, I become the full-time starter, but I didn't progress the way I needed or wanted to. And so I can't remember if I talked about this, but my dad calls me in and just says, hey, man, you do everything right. Like, you eat right, sleep right, you practice hard, but on game days, you're just not performing the way that I know you can. And I said, okay, you're kind of like, it stings, but man, I'm grateful for that. Like, what do I need to do? This is an opportunity to learn and grow. So, like, those types of people, you value those guys who are going to tell you exactly what you need, even if it stings. And he said, I want you to go meet with the mindset coach. I said, great. So I did, and it literally, for me, I just didn't have any ownership of anything. I was just out there playing. And even in high school, I was out there just playing.
It was just the athlete.
It was just the athlete.
It wasn't the mind. It was just you reacting to what the ball was doing and what was going on.
I'm just kind of out there. I only would practice football during practice. Like, I was just not – it's just – and you can't do that nowadays. Like, and at the college level, I learned that. Like, I need to do more. And not to the point where – where I'm doing more and it slows me down, but I need to do the right things that are going to take what I already have and just put it through the roof. And so my dad told me what I already had, and he's like, this is what you need. And so I took it serious, and I had complete ownership of what I was going to use football for. And immediately, because I didn't even think about the NFL, crazy enough, I was just out there playing, and that's how I had always been. Like, in high school, I didn't even think about college. I was just kind of there doing it. And so as soon as I created goals, had ownership, I had deliberate practices. It was awesome. Changed the game completely.
I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking about myself and my days back in high school. Mm-hmm. I was no slouch. I was always one of the better kids on the team.
Yeah.
A lot of it was just from athleticism.
Yeah.
And that was it. But I could tell you right now, I never watched football. I couldn't even tell, nowadays when you watch football because you watch it so much, you know what the penalty is before the penalty is even called.
Yeah.
I didn't know that stuff back in high school.
It's crazy, right?
I didn't know formations. I didn't know any about that. I give me the ball and let me run.
Yeah.
And do you know how I feel like I would have been night and day difference, dude.
Right? Isn't
And
that crazy?
I was pretty damn good, dude, and I would have been night and day difference. Like I feel like I would have owned them if I had that football knowledge.
Yeah,
and that mindset.
See, it's crazy. Like, it makes such a difference. Being able to have, first of all, you learn like how to, like, your strengths, like where you're at. You have to have a vision of yourself, right? Which is your why.
Yeah.
And then you have to have a plan, and then you have to go execute. But what's crazy is, like, you in between them, like when you make that jump, like that's where the ownership is. Like going from a vision to knowing your plan to knowing it, how you're going to execute and actually executing it. That's the ownership. Like I didn't have.
Like if you're watching film, what to be watching for? Because you can watch film to watch film. Yeah. But then you can watch film to watch what you like, see what you need to be watching.
It's a skill. Watching film is a skill, and if you are, I mean, I guess if you don't know how to watch film.
If you're not taught the skill, though.
Yeah, it's like going to the movie theater.
You're just going to be watching, you're going to be teasing your buddies for something they did wrong or something, and then they're going to come back at you for something you did. Yeah. But, like, if you don't have that skill, you're not going to know what to be watching. Yeah. And realistically, if you're watching it, that's what it should be. It should be all for informational purposes to get better.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, and if no one teaches you that, then and some other kid is getting all that. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you're competing, like in high school, you're competing with kids from all around the country. Like, and fifth-year seniors. Because of COVID and the transfer portal, like high school kids, it's even harder now to get a scholarship somewhere.
Are you serious?
Yes. And so it's crazy because, I mean, you got to do everything you can. Because, I mean, those scholarships, they're getting harder and harder to get.
Yeah, and if you don't, so like going back to me in my high school days, we were just talking about this. Your a highlight video that somebody put together for you was on DVD. Yeah. Mine was on VHS. And we just wrote on the label and stuff like that. But there was not a lot of information then. You had to, like your high school coach is who you kind of relied on to help get you out there. And if you did not have a real good high school coach, then that, I went to Highland. I got pulled to Highland to play for Highland for a really good coach. A lot of ties with Nebraska, Oregon, stuff like that. But I made the decision to go back and play with my friends back at Granger. And doing that, I started varsity as a freshman. Mm-hmm. I was actually going to Kennedy Junior High. Dang. So my mom had to take me to Granger High School to do it. And then moving from there to Highland, the coach was leaving, and he wanted me and wanted Pawnee Brown, which was Mania Brown's brother. Yeah. So me and Pawnee Brown to go to Highland. So we went to Highland. Little did I know, though, that Granger would – I never went to Granger. I never went to the high school. But Granger got mad, and I had to go sit down with the Utah High School Athletic Association, and I had to only play my grade level. I could not play varsity.
Really?
Yeah. So then my junior year, starting varsity and playing varsity, same thing. I ended up wanting to go back and be with my friends that I played football growing up with. I kind of got tired of the commute. You know what I mean? I was being a little sissy. I shouldn't have left. But I went back to play with my friends, and the same thing. Highland brought it up, and I had to play as a junior. I could not play varsity. And, I mean, there was some good parts to that. We played Kearns, and I knew Kearns couldn't go on too. Yeah. And as a middle linebacker, dude, my coach was like, "Do whatever you want, Cade." So I blitzed every time, and I timed it. So I think I had a 3-and-out with sacks.
You're coming through every time.
My bad, Kearns.
Someone blocked that guy.
Yeah, but I knew they wouldn't be able to go on two, dude. So I just went after it. But did not have the coach to push me. And when it all came down to it, even with the letters and everything that I was getting, which was huge. It was way cool, dude, to be in English class and the office assistant bringing in letters every day.
That's true.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That was a cool experience. But even with all that, dude, I was headed to – I didn't know how the system worked. Yeah. I'm thinking that I got all these opportunities and all these chances. It comes down to me going and playing for Wyoming. And going down to see the facilities, like I tell my old man to turn around.
Jeez.
And he's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't want to play here." That was it.
Jeez.
There was no other things knocking. There was nothing like it. Had I had a mentor or something that I could be on or a platform to talk to and run this through other people, they would let me know, no, go there, play.
You got to play.
You don't have to stay.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. You do not have to. That's a good
Go
point.
there, get in, and get going.
Yeah. That's the big thing here in Utah, actually.
Yeah.
Is, and just people in general, if you have your list of schools and nothing happens, then it's just like, oh, I'm done. Like, and you know what I mean? Like, but there is a way.
Yes.
Like, there's a way. People don't realize, like, there's levels to football, college football. You can go play. You can get offered.
Get seen.
Yeah.
And you'll have more opportunities after that. But you turn that car around, you're not going to have any opportunities other than that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's why it's like, I feel like parents, kids, like that education piece is huge, like in any sport, to understand that. And that's like a big thing for me that I think, needs to be known. Even me growing up, I didn't know anything. My dad was a college football coach. I had no idea what was going on.
You said he kind of just let you know what you needed to know, and that was about it.
Yeah, I didn't really know that much.
But going back into that, my old man, love him to death. He supported anything I did, dude. I had everything. Like, he was 100% support.
That's valuable.
Way beyond. So, but going to your program and everything like that, it's not just for the young athletes. It's for you're going to have a parent section as well, because I can tell you a lot of stuff that my dad would say to me probably just went in one ear and out the other. Yeah. And trying to teach my kids stuff like that, I don't feel like they listen to me.
And that's just how it is, right? Like, and I actually saw this because my dad was a college football coach. His players would come around, and I literally would just listen to every word that they said. Even if my dad would mention something, I just like, oh, yeah, Dad. But if that player said something to me, it's different. It's coming from someone different, someone that I, as a kid, look up to. Like, I want to be like them. And so their words are heavier. And that's one thing I want to provide is, okay, I'll be able to bring in these athletes that kids look up to, give them a platform where they can share things that have helped them. And just, that way the parents, because it's tough as a parent. Like, it is tough having a kid who's playing sports, because there's so much that goes into it. And you're either an asset or a liability for your kid's sports life. And some parents don't even know that. And it's like, okay, well, let me teach you why and how. And let me show you, like, how you can be a greater asset to your kids in this sports life. Because it is, if you have parents that are bought in and all in and willing to figure stuff out, because it takes work, like, no doubt.
And the hard part is without something like this, the parent is just guessing. The parent is trying, they want to do the right thing. They want to go down the right road. They want to make every right decision for you. Like, it's just as hard on them because they want it perfect for you. Yeah. But if you've never paved the way or you've never lived it, how do you even know where to go?
Yes.
And so that would be awesome as a parent to be able to ask those questions and get on, like, it's Discord, right? That you end up having. So get on Discord and ask those questions to you and other professionals and stuff like that.
Yeah. And other parents. Because I look at my parents.
And other parents.
This is what's neat. This is what I want to do, too, which is going to be really valuable for parents. I'll have parents in there who have gone through the process. And, like, I look at my mom and dad. All 5 of us kids played college sports. All right? Multiple professional opportunities. And I'm like, growing up.
The Kaufusis are badasses.
No, I'm just saying parents.
Animals.
Well, I'm saying other parents will look at that and be like, can you help us? Like, yeah. And I saw that growing up. And my dad was a college football coach, so they had all this information. Yep. So I just am like, why aren't my parents, or like, how cool would it be if my parents could share that experience with other people, and like not only just like the football experience, but just raising kids. Like how does that work? Like with all the sports, like, because, I mean, kids play sports, they're hungry. Like, what are you cooking for them? Like, because I get asked this all the time. Like, how do I gain weight? What do I need to do? Like, it's like, well.
You'll have nutrition in the program as well, kind of talking about that stuff?
Like, I'm just going to share everything that I've seen and experienced, and I'm going to place it all in here. Because when you join the Discord, I already have stuff pre-made in there. You can go click on it. How do I, as a parent, become an asset instead of a liability to my kid's sports life? Oh, it's right there. Boom, let me go read it. Oh, and there's some recorded videos with parents whose kids have all played college sports or they have had just a great experience. Like, okay, let's go watch that. And like that education piece is so important.
Yeah, and you talked about the parents that have been through it all before, but if I'm in that Discord, and the other parents that are in there, they might be just a level ahead and will have a ton of good information too.
Yeah.
I've been there. I was just there last year. Let me tell you, like, this is what we did and it worked out perfect. So just being able to bounce off of other people with the same mindset of just wanting to be a kick-ass athlete would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, bouncing those ideas back and forth.
Good. Yeah,
and it's so valuable. Like I've seen it, like at the NFL level, where we bounce ideas off one another, and on the field. But this is an interesting piece too.
Yeah,
on the field, we've been taught to compete against each other our whole lives, but off the field, why can't I help you? Like, what's stopping that?
Yeah.
Well, probably just pride and, not realizing that if I help you or someone helps me, we're all going to help each other and everyone wins. And so it's really cool to create that culture and be a part of something like that. And so it's like, that's what I want for the young athletes. Like, I love helping other athletes. Like, there's a lot of fulfillment in that, especially if you're like a high school kid who's been in, Young Athlete Society.
Yeah.
And a younger kid asks something. Well, guess whose turn it is now to be the mentor?
Yeah.
It's yours.
That's awesome.
Like, go get after it. Like,
and I would imagine that the program that you have on is not 100%. It is going to continue to constantly evolve and get better and better with more information as it goes on.
Yeah.
But camps, I would imagine you're going to end up having like a nutrition camp, maybe like a speed and agilities camp.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be having camps that you'll be putting on that people can attend.
Yeah, because for me, it's a holistic approach to the athlete. A lot of times, when you have your like physical training, like that's their world, right?
Yep.
And then you have the nutrition, that's their world. All right. You have the mindset stuff, that's their world. Well, how do you make sure, like, all of this is cultivated in a way that you win, that your best self is presented on the field on game day? Let's do a camp where we hit every area, and let's bring in elite people. Okay, I know those elite people. I'll bring them in. Let's do it. Let's have some amazing camps, and provide this whole thing that can help all the athletes win. Because every athlete's at a different level.
Yeah.
And that's what's really unique and you learn is every athlete's at a different level. So it's like, okay, well, let's give them information, let them apply it. And then, we're having weekly calls. Come back and ask questions.
Yeah, and you'll have the weekly calls as well that you can do.
Yeah.
So you've got weekly calls, and then what was the other thing that you had?
So it'll be 2 calls a week.
Okay.
So the first call will be the mindset training, mentorship, leadership training, right? And then also how there's going to be a piece in there on service and how, as an athlete, you can use your platform to serve people.
Okay.
So it'll be one of those 4, mainly focused on the mindset training.
You'll have Q&A stuff.
Yep, and then that's the second call.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have one where it's just all training, and Q&A. But you're going to come back, and we're going to talk about, because I'm going to leave almost like homework, something that you're going to be doing, you're going to bring it back. A big part of this is accountability. And that's what really changed for me. I really wasn't accountable for my sports life. I was just, be here at this time, do this, do this, do this. But it's like, how are you supposed to own it and get everything out of it if you don't own it yourself? what happens is now it's someone else doing it. You don't want mom and dad to be the main motivator.
Yeah.
You don't want you don't want to be that athlete that's on the field or court where you're not even thinking for yourself. It's the parents' thoughts who are in you, because your parents, or coaches are given so much information and like to the point where you can't even think for yourself. Their thoughts, like how you, and it's probably really great, but the athlete is the one on the field, on the court. Like it's got to be their own. Like
yeah.
And that's when an athlete really is there in the zone, is there making plays, because it's no longer the coach, even the coach. It's not the coach. It's not the mom and dad out there. It's the athlete.
Yep.
So
going back to that accountability, that is huge.
Yeah.
Most people, if you have gone through like a nutritionist and you have gone through his program, you know what you got. You know what you need to eat.
Yeah.
But for some reason, me, for example, if I don't have the accountability of going back and seeing him weekly, knowing that I have to step on that scale and either get a frowny face or a smiley face, like I know what to eat, but without him, I'll gain weight like crazy.
Yeah.
With that accountability, I'll do whatever it needs to be. I'll lose weight, gain weight, whatever he needs me to do.
Yeah.
Like I can track it and do it. But I know what to eat, but I just am like, without the accountability, dude, you can do whatever you want.
No, seriously.
And one thing leads into like 2 and then 3, and then next thing you know, the whole week is just crap. And
you don't even realize like what's going on, and that's why a big part of this built into the Discord is the accountability section and how we're going to run that, and how you're going to, if you're coming back to share what you've done, like how to use, like you're going to have a journal, you're going to be using a journal, you're going to be doing things to create these habits of discipline.
Yeah.
Like, but you need to be accountable, because you can do whatever you want, like exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But if you're unaccountable, your growth is going to be like zero. It's going to be hard. And it's like
much slower.
Yeah.
A lot less progression.
Yeah. And then you think about in the sports situation where it's like, obviously, you're competing with like tons of kids, like we were saying. But at the end of the day, what happens is when you have accountability and self-ownership, the only person you're competing against is yourself. And that's when you start to really win. And days start to stack, and you're stacking days. Because right now, what I'm doing today, is that going to affect me during my games next year? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it will. Like, what you do today will.
But if you don't have that accountability, you're just going to, like, you're not going to worry about it or think about it.
Yeah, and that's why it's built into the system. Yeah. It has to be there. It just has to be.
So with the program, you sign up.
Yep, you sign up.
You get the Discord.
Yep, you get the Discord.
What's the sign up? How much is it a month?
$97 a month.
$97 a month.
So you get the 4 calls, the training calls, and you get 4 Q&As, and then you'll get access to the camps.
The Discord.
Oh yeah, you have the group chat, and then.
And you have a kids section.
Yeah.
The parent section.
The athlete section, parents, and then coaches.
And then the coaches.
Because this coaching section is football coaches, and it's built for high school coaches if they want to jump on, or what I've seen, and I feel like it's super beneficial, is for all the dads that are coaching these kids in, junior high and down, and it's awesome that they're coaching them. But it's like, can we provide a platform where we can educate you on the game of football, the drills that need to be done? Like, there's some drills that you see that are just outdated. Yeah. And there's no point in doing them.
We've been talking a lot about football.
Yeah.
But it is more than just football, right?
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
Like other sports and everything as well.
Yeah. So for the Young Athlete Society with the mindset training and everything, it is for all athletes, because it's in every single sport. Yep. Right? But for the coaches, it will be for football coaches, because that's what I know.
That's your jam.
And that's the coaches that's the coaching network that I have. Yeah. That I can bring in a coach to present to these coaches. And that in that room could be 1,000 dads in there who want to take a 45-minute call with like might have coached for 30 years, you know?
Yeah.
Or my uncle, who's a current D-line coach at Arizona right now. He was at UCLA before then, you know, or my friends that are in coaching now. A ton of friends that are coaches right now. It's like, let's bring in these NFL coaches.
Or ones that want to coach.
Yeah, or ones that just want to coach.
Out of high school, not playing anymore, that want to coach high school ball. Like, how do we get into that? How do I get to college? Like, what is exactly? Yeah.
There's just this huge thing there, I feel like, you know, that it's so valuable. If you're going to be coaching football, I think being able to have access to these guys is so valuable. Because I can sit there, like, I would love to break down a whole game and answer questions. You know, offense or defense, because I've played both in the NFL. It's different. And so, you know, it's like, let's provide this value to these coaches. So that the coaches will get their own separate call every week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I want to see dads who just love the game of football and who want to coach the kids, their sons or daughters. Like, you know, it's like, dang, let's get you some knowledge. Like, let's get you some high-level knowledge about this game and use it. Like, you will be a better coach.
I think it's good, dude. I think it's awesome. I've got my son here.
Yeah.
Brixton. That's why we got the third mic. Get over here, buddy.
Come on, Brixton.
Get over here. Let's get you
He's been so patient. The guy.
He was so patient.
Check out that hat, too.
I think he was entertained.
Where'd you get that hat from?
All right, get in here. Get up on that mic.
Brixton.
How's that?
Good.
Good. This is Brixton Ryder Beckstead.
Hi.
Hi.
Brixton.
So he is a multi-sport athlete. His mom's got him in everything that possibly can be.
I love it.
Right?
Right.
There was horseback riding, guitar,
Baseball.
football, baseball, soccer at one point. Am I missing something? Golf.
Yeah, golf.
There we
Golf.
go. Yeah.
Dude, he like every day there is something else. I have no idea
That's
how Bree keeps up on it, but yep. So one of the questions is, you 6 years old or sixth grade?
Mm-hmm.
I just called you 6, buddy.
Little
bit off. So sixth grade is a good time you feel like is a really good time to start the program. My question to you, though, that maybe others might be thinking, him on Discord.
Yeah.
How do I protect him on Discord in this group?
That's a really good question, and I get that question a lot because any social media site, I mean, you got to have the walls in place, things to protect. So what's cool about Discord is we have moderators that are on there, right? And bots that are built to help with that. But then also we turn off all direct messages. So no one can direct message. Whereas like, you know, on other platforms, you're getting direct messages, DMs, and that's how you get in contact.
Yeah.
Well, we're just going to cut it out completely.
Nobody direct messaging other people.
Yeah.
It's just all in group
It's
chat.
all in the group. Like, you can't go anywhere else.
I like it.
And so that way, you know, it's safe, and that way, you know, because we're there to win, you know, like, and that's the focus, and we can't have that even be a thought, like, and so we just like nip it right out the gate.
What do you think? Do you think it'd be cool to be able to get on there and talk to other dudes that are just kicking butt, other kids?
It would.
Yeah.
Maybe see their wins or something like that?
Yeah.
Throw some NFL guys in there too.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah, you got an NFL player right there, dude. Jets, Ravens, and my favorite, Packers.
There we go. Yeah, go Pack, go.
His favorite team's the Broncos.
Broncos.
There we go. Close by, right?
Yeah.
So how was football this year?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah?
So this year we improved a lot. We got a lot of new players. Like, last year we were like, everyone was just like first year, like, wasn't that good. But this year we improved a lot. Like, got a lot faster, like, learned a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Brixton's at a slight disadvantage because of his size. And they put him up. They put him up against.
Defensive
he's on
nose
line.
tackle.
You're on the line.
He's on the line.
There we go.
Yeah, and you got some sacks, huh?
Yeah.
Get some
You
sacks.
got in there, yeah.
Oh.
You got in there and got some sacks.
Yeah.
How'd baseball go?
Good.
I only bring that up because I was one of the coaches.
Yeah.
And
It was really fun.
Yeah.
I'm
And?
glad you coached.
You're glad I coached?
Yeah.
the beginning of the season, he's like, "You don't know anything about baseball. Why are you coaching? Did you not?"
I did.
But being an athlete, like we know
Yeah.
what you want. We know what So it's super easy to coach if you've been an athlete and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what you do. How'd that season end?
We won almost every single game.
And the most important one, the chip.
The championship game, we won.
I love it.
Yeah, that was
Championships. Hey, it's hard to win championships. Period.
Dude, there was a little bit stacked against us going into that final game.
There was.
Yeah.
They had like a really good pitcher. They had a really good catcher, and they also had this kid that was on another team that, like, they had over, like, the amount that they were supposed to.
We were watching, dude. We fished him out pretty quick though. We let everybody know.
hey, it's crazy because it's, you think like, oh man, the NFL and professional sports. It's like, no, it's more similar than what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's that competitive level that you have, like when you go and played that championship game.
Yeah.
Well, guess who has it too? Your coaches. Like you. It's there. Like
yeah, you knew what you had to do, and it wasn't the coaches on the side. Like we were scheming too. I was watching that batting order.
You're all in it.
Huge. Like I was on that batting order so that they did not put up another guy or go out of order because I was going to be talking about it. And there was a few calls that, if you remember, I stopped the game and was questioning their batting order and everything like that, and we had to work it out.
We did.
We did, and that was kind of a turning point.
Yeah.
Because me stopping it and getting out there and talking and bringing something up, it kind of their pitcher was on one
On a roll.
and it iced him, dude.
Oh
It slowed
man,
down, huh?
the scheming's real.
Yeah, it's real,
dude.
And then just watching rosters before, it's some serious stuff.
Yeah.
It's serious. So,
Jeez.
I think a program like this would be awesome, don't you?
Yeah.
And then like the camps, going to meet other people.
Yeah.
Inside Discord, like winning.
Yeah, we
would
have
be
that.
Rad.
We have that section.
You're good.
Yeah, we have the
dude,
wins section.
dude, that would be like if I was growing up, being your age, what you know is your school.
Right.
And if you're really good, and you might be one of the best at the school, that's what you know is your school. You don't know that this guy is 10 levels ahead of you. But if you're in that group and you get to know everybody like Utah, other states, whoever gets in on this, you can watch those wins and be like, it can kind of help you set the bar of like, okay, don't start sleeping because this dude's killing it.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about it is, you're going to have, like within the athlete section, you're going to be able to see other kids, what they're doing. They're going to show their success stories, those wins, and you can see, okay, they're doing this and this. Okay, the parents are gonna be able to see it too. Like parents, a big thing with parents that I think is gonna be awesome that I put in here is a lot of parents don't know when stuff is, and so now you can say if parents are going to stuff or camps and different things, now there's a place for that, and then I just think it's so valuable, like because you're in 6th grade, right?
Right.
And so have you ever thought about playing college sports?
Yes, I have.
What team would you want to go play for?
Utes.
The Utes. There you go.
Or BYU because they have a really good sports program. Either one.
Either one
would work.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, you're way more onto it than I was because I
We're gonna have to talk about the BYU thing when we go home.
Yeah, don't say those words. Sorry on him. It's all right. I played there. It's all right. I played there.
When he said that.
Yeah, when he said the Utes, you lit up, and when he said BYU, you were like,
Started eyeballing him like, let's hear what you got to
I
say.
would go more for the Utes, but if I wasn't able to get like a scholarship with the Utes, that's BYU's my second. Like
He is super smart, very knowledgeable about stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest with you. What I thought was going to come out of his mind was that he was going to be like, I want to go to BYU because they got like their veterinarian school is just on point or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like whatever. I was thinking that something that was going to come out of his mind was what he wanted to do career-wise.
Yeah.
And was going to drop that. And I was waiting to hear what this was.
You said Utes. You passed.
Because he's super smart that way. He never ceased to amaze me on that. So.
Oh, I love it. I got another question for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so with college sports, all right, what do you feel like in the next 3 years you have to do so like that can actually be, you know, like it becomes even more clear for you? Like what, in your mind, like what would you say?
Probably like get in the gym, like go on a diet or whatever. Like, like mental.
Yeah.
Some mental work, physical work.
Yeah. I like that. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
just
because
growth.
Yeah.
In all aspects.
Yeah. Because it's hard, you know. What's cool is that you're playing all the sports.
Yeah.
Because you're going to become an overall athlete. And if you are growing in every area, man, it's hard to, you know, it's hard for any coach to not have you on the field playing, but then also it's hard to not have, because in order to get to that level, you know, you have to be playing in junior, like, you know, when you're in high school, you have to be playing on Friday nights to get recruited.
Right.
And there's all these different levels. But what I'm saying is you have the right mindset of, I have to do this, 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 and this. And then how do I max those out? Right?
Right.
I like that. Yeah. So you're way ahead, I think, of a lot of kids. You know, just hearing you talk about that and, you know, and you see it. So next year you're going to be a 7th grader.
Yes.
What school do you go to in 7th grade?
Lake Mountain, probably.
Lake Mountain. And do they have
That's a middle school,
baseball
right?
team?
Yeah, Lake Mountain.
They got a baseball team or?
They don't have any, like, sports or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, Westlake, there's a Westlake High School. They have, like, a program for, like starting with, like, 1st graders, 2nd graders, 3rd graders. My little brother plays in 3rd grade.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So
And it feeds into the high school?
Yes.
Oh,
with the rec stuff, the conference stuff for the football and everything.
Yeah. That's awesome.
See, and I think that a program like this would help out real well because where you're at a little bit of a disadvantage on size,
right.
Getting the knowledge and being better prepared mentally would give you that edge to kind of get above everybody else just because of where you're at, or you know what I mean, where you're at already.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Because, yeah, and that's the cool thing about athletes, you know, is like you're here right now, you know what you need to do, but it's like knowing your strengths is so key. And so that's why it's fun to, you know, it's nice having a parent like your dad and mom that are super involved, right? But they can share with you like, okay, I think you're doing this really well, you're doing this really well, maybe we could add this in, and then all of a sudden, it's so, you know, being able to have that type of structure is key. Because young athletes, like, and you're a young athlete, but, you know, athletes in general love structure.
Yeah.
Built around, you know, their strengths, but then also their improvement opportunities. And so that's cool. I think I'm excited to watch it. I'm going to be following you now.
Right.
I don't know what sport you're going to play. Geez, you can play a lot.
Did you play multiple sports?
I did. So my first sport was soccer growing up when I was a little kid. And then I played baseball. And then I played basketball right around the same time as soccer, actually. And then I played flag football.
Yeah.
And then I played tackle football. And then in high school I did football and basketball, and then a little bit of track and field. Yeah, just because my dad had me go into like the track and field practices, learn how to run.
Yeah.
Which that does
in middle
that
school,
does
there's
start
a
in
track
middle
and
school.
Field.
See, yeah, and it's very helpful.
It is very helpful. Yeah, for your speed and stuff like that.
Even if you're not going to compete, like those practices, it's like learning how to run. Because as a football player, you're not really focused on that stuff. But as an overall athlete, you got to focus on how to run, how to produce power, how to So there's a lot of things like that make it fun. Are you really excited to go into junior high?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Really excited.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
You get a little bit of that how to run technique, huh?
Yeah.
I kind of try to push that. We'll sit in the backyard and I'll be like, dorsal flex the foot,
Yeah.
This is what you got.
Yeah. Any little bit helps,
Right.
Like, yeah. Do you love, what do you love about sports? Is it the training? Is it the practices? Is it the teammates? Is it the winning? What's your favorite part?
The teammates, you have, a bond with everyone, and it's, really fun, training, too. It's, really fun to, grow.
Yeah.
Get better every single year.
Yeah.
You can go hang with your homies.
Yeah.
Go to war with your buddies.
Yeah. I love that. That's so fun, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Being with all your buddies?
Yeah.
Everyone, does your core group of guys, friends that you train with and do a lot of stuff with, do they enjoy training like you do?
Yeah, they probably do. Yeah. I'd say.
That's awesome.
We haven't got into the depth of training that we need to, but
Yeah, that's for sure.
Mom puts you in some speed and agility classes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's always time. That's the thing. I didn't touch a weight for a while, but I played every sport, and being able to be athletic helped so that when I did touch a weight, it just increased my game that much more. It was crazy because
that would be a question that I would have as a parent. When would be a good time for kids to start doing weights and stuff like that?
Weightlifting, body work.
You always hear about it stunts your growth and
yeah.
I need to get some of that then.
So, no, not stunt your growth. You don't want to kill it. You want your growth to go.
We'll get you the opposite. Yeah. Get you
Yeah.
going.
So if you work out, your growth stops, is what they say.
Oh.
If you start lifting weights.
Well, I think what's cool about Young Athlete Society is I'm not the expert, but I know the experts. Let's bring them in, and and I'll have them get on there and present. You can ask them as many questions. We're gonna have them here for the next 80 minutes. You guys just ask them as many questions as you want as a parent. Have elite trainers, NFL trainers, speed and power guys, all these people. And let's hear, because what one guy might say might be different, but it's you got to hear and see what people. That's the hardest thing about today, because you can get online and look up a bunch of stuff. There's 100 different answers, but it's let me try to find the elite guys within that group, and let's listen to them all, and then let's see what's similar, and then let's see about our current situation, what's going on, and then we can decide.
I like that. I like how you answered that, where I'm not the expert of that.
Yeah,
and you're not going to pretend to be.
Yeah.
But you do have those people.
Yeah,
they can answer that.
Yeah, they can answer it. I'll just grab them, and that's the thing with any questions that parents have. If I don't know them, or if I don't know the answer, because that's not my field or expertise. I guarantee I can find them though, and it's not too. And they're probably going to be at an upper echelon of training or nutrition or recruiting or whatever it is parents want to know or kids want to know. Because I don't know, maybe you have a question for me and I just don't have the answer, and I'm not the best person to answer it, right? But I can find someone for you,
Yeah.
So right now with this, there's the early sign up that's going on right now that you're kind of. Anybody that signs up right now, you're kind of reaching out one-to-one.
I'm reaching out one-to-one right now.
Talking with them.
Yep. And just because we'll fully launch and we'll have that'll be big group calls.
And that's in January.
That's in January. But until then.
Was that the 14th or the 16th?
The 14th.
The 14th of January, you'll fully launch.
We'll fully launch, and then we'll start the calls and the training and all of that. Until then, the people that sign up right now, I'm gonna provide a call, maybe once every 10 to 12 days in there, up to January 14th. So probably 2 calls, but one-on-one, which is different, because now I can hear and get a really good feel for the athlete, where they're at, what they're doing. It's different. And eventually, there will be built-in one-on-ones into the system.
Yeah.
If there's an athlete and a parent that really wants
Needs
that, really feels like it's valuable. Because there'll be a lot of value just from getting the overall training, but maybe there's a one-on-one where it's hey, I want you to be with my kid, just one-on-one, for 40 minutes, 45 minutes a week, and I want you to do the full training. And with that changes some things because now there's one-on-one accountability where now you're going to be me and the athlete, we're going to be going together now, and I can dive into stuff a little deeper, which makes it more exciting. But then I can also answer more questions about training or nutrition because now it's like I'm able to now meet and answer anything within that time slot.
So the Young Athlete Society, the program itself will just be constantly evolving.
Constantly.
To get better and better.
To get better and better.
Just like the players.
Just like the players. You have to evolve and you have to.
It.
Yeah, it'll be really good. Like I can see it.
Okay, so that's youngathletesociety.com, right?
Yep, youngathletesociety.com.
Instagram?
Instagram, yes.
Is there an Instagram page?
Yep, Young Athlete Society.
Okay.
Yep, we don't have a Twitter yet, but we will.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, I know, I got a little logo here. I'm excited. I'll have to touch on the logo sometime. But it's awesome. It's like a gray triangle with like blue around it.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Yep. So here it is. So
There it is.
You better click follow.
It's new. It literally, we just got it up. Yeah.
651 followers, dude.
No.
That's pretty, that's so funny. Dude, I only have 860 on mine.
No, it was a quote page I had during COVID.
Oh, dude, I'm pushing and I have 800. If you're listening to this, go follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, go follow.
I need help. 840 something, dude, and I'm like, how in the world? And then you pull this up and I thought it was brand new and I'm like, 651. What
No,
the
I
hell?
transitioned it from a quote page I had during COVID.
Okay.
I love that kind of stuff. And then transitioned it into Young Athlete Society. So I've been going to speaking. There's the logo.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So it'll be
the poly print in the inside of it.
Yeah.
It looks really
It's
cool.
a shout out to that. So where I'm from, my family's from, in Tonga, on our property, there's a story about how when the king was going to go to war, he wouldn't go unless our ancestor that was there was going to go with him. So he sent his soldiers over there to recruit them. He said, "I'm not going unless the king comes." He kind of set them on their way. Well, the king comes, and they're walking on the beach, and the king's like, "Hey, I can't go to war without you. I need you because you're like that rock out there, and off the beach there's a rock that you can see. It's still there." And he's like, "You're immovable. I can trust you, and you're not gonna get, you don't get distracted." And so this is kind of showing that where that's the rock and then the blue is the water, and how you have to remain calm and really focused no matter what waves are coming in or things as an athlete, but in life. So that's what the logo means.
Dude, I like that.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Young Athlete Society.
Well, I appreciate you coming on again, man.
No, thanks.
Dude, I love it. Love it. Let's get this thing going. And, anybody looking to sign up, get their kids on, helps with parents, everything like we said. So, youngathletesociety.com.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's awesome.
What do
Thank
you
you.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's sign up.
Boom. Love it.
Man, you guys are awesome.
Love it.
I know. Hey, if you sign up, I'm going to be pumped.